McNair radio show on this Monday night. I'm Charles Edmond. Glad you can join us here on 91.7 WPRL. And as you can see from the video portion of it, WPRL News, Sports, Jazz, Gospel, and R&B. Glad you can join us. Larry Sanders producing the video end of things. And Charles Edmond here. Jamario Brooks, our producer over in Studio A. Glad you could join us as we talk about the Purple and Gold game this past Saturday. Great atmosphere. Give us your thoughts on the whole day, the Purple and Gold game from start to finish. A ton of RVs, great turnout, great crowd, and we'll talk about the game. 601-877-6595. Tweet a question, Tall Man Radio. We've already got a tweet that's come in, so we'll get to that. We'll get to some of the tweets we didn't get to last week about some other things, some other issues as far as scheduling and all of that. So we've got some tweets coming in, so we'll get to that. Braves head football coach Fred McNair sitting to my left in a nice red golf shirt because he just came off the links. Good evening, Coach.
Good evening, Charles. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Talk about your golf outing.
Oh, man, it was fun. Just going out and just being able to see some local guys in the area up there in Jackson, actually in Madison, just playing golf around a little bit and just getting a chance to visit and talk with some of the guys that was there. You know, John Bonds and those times, Marcus Dupree and all those guys, and even see my old rivalry coach, Coach Hughes up there. And, we got a chance to visit those guys, just playing a little bit today. But, you know, always good to get back here on campus and come do this radio show with you, Charles. And I have a lot of fun with it, and I enjoy it when I do it.
You know, my colleague on the video side, Curtis Aaron, we were talking about it the other day. Curtis said he would like to give golf a shot, and I thought about it. I'm like, why not? I mean, just talk about how relaxing, and I've heard a lot of people say it. I've never played it, but how relaxing and how exciting is it when you're getting out on that course?
It is, and it's a time when you go out and just kind of let your mind just wander and be at ease sometimes, Charles. Just get your mind away from things that you've been doing for a while, you know, and just relax. And I thought that Bill Blackwell do a great job with that event for the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. And, you know, got a chance to see my brother, my friend Rick Cleveland. And just being out on the golf course with people that you normally don't see every day, and just being able to talk with them. I was with some guys that worked up on Richard Schwartz, some lawyers and stuff. So I had a lot of fun talking to those guys and just playing a little golf and relaxing.
You know, in this game or any sport, when you know people, it just makes it that much better when you're around your comrades and people that you know that you appreciate and they appreciate you. And you add golf to the mix, that makes it just a fun day.
It does. It's really fun when you know you can't golf and you're out there with some people that can't golf. So it's a lot of fun that way, Charles. And you know, if anybody's out there taking it serious, you know, I wouldn't probably be a part of it. But I let everybody know from the beginning that, you know, I can't play golf. You know? But I just don't do it enough, and you know, just one of those things that to be really good at, you have to do it continuously. And work at your game on that stuff, Charles. And it's a very, very, very good game to play.
Yeah. Braves head football coach Fred McNair joining us. Let's talk about Saturday, Coach, from start to finish. I think a good time had by all, on and off the field.
I tell you what, Charles. You know, just the event, if that's an indication of what it's going to be like during the fall, Charles, it's going to be great, man. And you know, people coming in on Friday with the RVs and parking and tailgating for the baseball game Friday night, and it was just wonderful. The softball game was going on, and got a chance to see a couple of plays of that. You know, Coach Rankin, you know, he done clinched the East, and he's doing a great job at our softball team. You know, we just being supportive of all the athletes here on this campus and all the athletic programs that's been on this campus. You know, just showing everybody that we have that support and people behind these sports here at Alcorn means a lot to these coaches and these players as well. You know, you see a bunch of fans here at the balls game, at the event, Charles, just make you very happy just to be able to be out there and playing, especially when you have support like that. And you know, the event the whole day, you know, even signing the autograph, the coaches signing the autograph, Charles, and people coming over and just getting autographs signed, and then you got the big barbecue cook-off, and it was just a great event the whole day. You know, just smelling that barbecue smoke just remind me of a game day on Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, the event was well played. They did a great job with the whole event, Charles, and The kids enjoyed it, and the spring game was something special. To some of those guys that were playing it for the last time, it'd be their last spring game.
Yeah, all in all, man, I thought it was terrific. Maybe a couple of raindrops throughout the day on Saturday. It was expected to be 80-90%, but it didn't turn out to be that way. The weather gods were kind to us.
I tell you what, as I always say, it's a God, Charles, and He blessed us for a beautiful Saturday. The old list sprinkles a little bit. Mine is just cooling it off a little bit. That's what it did, and the atmosphere was just great. The event was just overwhelming, and I enjoyed it, and we were blessed with a beautiful day.
That flag football game was something special to see. I was up in the press box, and just to see how it was organized, I mean, just a lot of fun had by all. A lot of stiff bodies. A lot of folks got out there that probably hadn't picked up a football in a long time, but hey, they tried. They gave it their all.
And it was, Charles. And I talked to some of the guys before they went on the field, and I said, man, how many plays you got in? He said 2. I said, well, somebody got to play more than 2 plays. Everybody said 2. I said, it's going to be more than 2 plays played. So somebody got to play more than 2. But those guys came back, Charles, and I got a chance to talk with them and visit with them for a little while. Some of the older guys that came back, it was exciting, and those guys had fun, and it was exciting to them. Just be able to come back and play the game at their alma mater where they started their career at, Charles. And I think it meant a lot to those guys to be able to be around something like this, and they're excited about it, and they're anxious to come back for the next year. And so hopefully this will be a continue-on thing, and hopefully it'll grow, and that way you get people to come back to this university, especially those older players, the former players that played here. Now you see them back on campus, because there was some, Charles, I hadn't seen in a while, and I tell you, it was a blessing to see those guys in good health and being able to go out there and play that game the way they did.
Who were some of the older guys that you hadn't seen in a while that you saw Saturday?
You had Nate Hughes, he was out there, man. He was running around. John Gibbs, you had Lee Robinson, man, those guys, and I was talking to Lee for a minute. That's one of the guys that said he had 2 plays, but he ended up having 2 picks that game. That's impressive as a linebacker, Charles. That's something that you just normally don't see. But these guys came back and put on a good show. Elbow Buck and all those guys. It was just so many people that came back and participated in this event. And hopefully, next year it'll keep growing and growing, because those guys are very excited to come back for the next year.
Despite everything that's happened in the past and all that other stuff, what was the message that you were getting from the ex-players and the old Alcornites throughout the course of the day Saturday?
And the biggest thing is, Charles, I talked with a bunch of them before the game, and the message from them was just keep pressing on, Coach. Just keep doing what you're doing, and everything's gonna be all right. Just saying, just give me some words of encouragement, because those things like that, it kind of affect the coach sometimes, and I take that to heart when things like that occur, Charles, and I put all I can into it, when it goes on like that, and just hopefully that we learn from this and put this behind us and get all this stuff together where we can get ready for some more football here in the summer and then in the fall. That's what I'm anxious about. But those guys was very good and gave me some good words of encouragement. So that's one of the things that they really, the message I got across to me.
Yeah, but the obvious question is, to me, how tough have the last 14 days been for you?
Charles, I'm a very relaxed person. I don't let a lot of things get to me, Charles. But at that time, it was kind of frustrating in a way to where everything was just happening all at once. It never been like this. And like I said, these guys, they haven't been doing anything outrageous here on campus, and it's just an unfortunate incident that happened. Like I told the guys, I said, it's not the first time campus ever had a fight or anything like that. It's just that, media now is so bad with the social media stuff. It blows it up to where, you kind of get out of hand with it. And the biggest thing is, and from me to everybody else too, man, just hopefully that this is a lesson to all, Charles, not only to our student athletes, but to everybody here on this Alcorn campus. This is our campus, Charles, and we got to protect our campus. And we can't continue to let that kind of stuff get out. And that just coming from my heart to where, you know, I can say that, you know, we just got to be very careful what we do here at Alcorn State University by social media stuff. You know, that's going from the athletic program to the whole student body. You know, this is our campus, and we shouldn't be putting stuff out on our campus like that.
14 minutes after 6 o'clock, we'll take a 1-minute break. We'll be right back. We have some tweets coming in, and we'll get into the purple and gold game. And some news on the FCS front. The SWAC led the FCS, the football championship subdivision, in attendance. We'll talk about that as we roll along. So we'll take a break. 601-877-6595. A couple of tweets have come in. We'll get to those. So we'll get to all that coming up after this 1-minute break on the Fred McNair Radio Show.
identifying marks. Trademark and Licensing Administration works to preserve and promote the university's long-standing reputation as a center of academic and athletic excellence. Merchandise vendors wishing to use the university's identifying marks on commercial products must be licensed vendors who have obtained permission to use Alcorn State University marks by securing trademark licenses. Campus organizations that want university identifying marks on their internal use products must hire licensed vendors to produce these items. To learn more about the licensing and trademark requirements, visit www.alcorn.edu/trademark and licensing administration.
All right, welcome back. We are here with Braves Head football coach Fred McNair on the Fred McNair Radio Show. 601-877-6595, 601-877-6595. A tweet's come in from Mr. T talking about the social media policy. In the future, do you expect to put policy in place regards to social media? And for that, anything dealing with that, the University of Media Relations will have more information on that, and you can give them a call at 601-877-6130, 601-877-6130, and they can answer all of those questions regarding social media. And hey, and I've said this, 2 years ago, there's no way I'd be looking at my Twitter page right now, but it just shows you how informative it could be. But we know, just like anything else, it could work the other way around. All right, so Coach, let's talk about the purple and gold game on Saturday. You look at the number of plays that were ran, so we'll start with that, first of all. I know folks probably expected maybe a full-fledged game, but with all the events that took place, you obviously cut it down. Was the plan all along to cut the game down to what it was, or considering the recent events, you decided to whittle the game down a little bit?
No, that was the plan at the first charge. We kind of want to take a different approach on it and do some different things and kind of take a more of a practice-like event, but at the end, kind of give people the whole format of what we do during our weekly practices and stuff like that, with a little individual stuff and work individual stuff and do a little pass scale, one-on-one, and then we go to group and team. And I think that was a good format for us, and of course it was already in place to do that, so it kind of worked out to our advantage to where we didn't have as many players that we normally have during that time. So we didn't want to overwork those guys, because a lot of time you talk about hurt other players, by taking more reps and all that kind of stuff. We were very short on offensive linemen. We were very short on D linemen and D-backs, and so we decided to do that approach anyway, but it kind of worked out to our advantage, Charles, and I thought that the whole format of the deal was pretty good. We didn't want to overextend those guys out there that day to put them in a position where somebody would get hurt. We don't want to lose anybody else at this point in time, Charles. Hopefully now, I got some good news earlier today from our athletic trainer. We got some guys that's been cleared for play now, so that was good news to me. That made my heart feel a whole lot better.
Who are some of those guys?
Kenyon Bradley, Brandon Campbell, and hopefully, we get Brady Smith and them back after their next doctor visit. Brady, he even played in the game, but he's non-contact, so he did well, man. And I thought that was one of the things that looked good over there in the secondary part. You know, Coach Thomas and Coach Quinn are doing a great job with those guys in the secondary and working with those guys. And like I said, this year should be a whole lot better. You know, we expect a whole lot more out of those guys now because of that year up under their belt now. So we're in a position now to where those guys are going to be really worked hard, you know, come summer during training camp. So we're excited about it. And offensively, you know, Footman played a pretty good game. You know, for what we gave him, the young quarterback, Phineas Harper, he's going to be a diamond in the rough for us, Charles.
He led the only touchdown drive.
Yes, and I mean, he probably scored, but, you know, they couldn't hit the quarterback, so we had to put it on the 1 yard line. And at that point, you know, Lance Turner ran the ball well. And, of course, you know, the offensive line, what we had there, Charles, they opened holes and everything. And I thought the defensive front was in position to make a lot of tackles, which they did. You know, we just want to see just basic third-up football at that point in time. We don't want to get anybody injured. You know, we got Orlando Vills coming back. He's going to be special this year, Charles, and we're going to rely on him to be a leader for us in that receiver corps. And defensively, let's say Brady Smith had only interception of the game, and you know, Silas, the linebacker, Silas Muhammad. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with, Charles. I'm looking for great things out of him too as well. O.J. Neal, another safety. You know, he got a year up on his belt too as well. So we'll be looking for some good things out of those guys. And I was very pleased with what we saw during the spring game, Charles. And just like I said, once we get everything lined back up, Charles, at the end of the day, you know, we're going to be okay. And Corey McClellan, you know, he kicked the ball well. You know, at the end of the ball game, that was going to be the last drive, and he boosted the field goal to tie the ball game up.
Yeah.
You know, so he's been doing really well. He's trying to improve his timing and his operation as far as kicking. But, you know, just some of the things that we're going to be pretty good at this year. We're just looking forward to seeing in the fall.
I didn't get a chance to count, but how many players did you have available Saturday?
I think it was right at 38, Charles. And you know, so we was kind of low on the numbers, but you know, we did what we did, and you know, everybody may have their opinion about things the way it turned out, but I thought it turned out well for a coaching staff. Nobody get hurt and all that kind of stuff. So we know what to look for in situations. So that's what we did.
Yeah, there's always a balance, I think, between the real deal, the real game, and then just the spring game. You want to get the lather going. You don't want to get anybody hurt, but you want to show fans what you got.
Right.
So that balance, is that a tricky thing? As you dealt with so many of these spring games, is that a tricky thing to deal with every year?
It is not. It is. And that's why, you know, a lot of time, you know, during the spring and during tour days and stuff like that, you don't want to. I don't like all them scrimmages like that, Charles, because that's when you tend to lose a lot of players when you scrimmage a whole lot. And we didn't do a whole lot of scrimmaging this spring either. We did a couple of them, but that was it. We kind of cut down on that, and hopefully this fall we make it back, get healthy. You know, it'll be the same situation, but we'll have more guys this time out there during the fall, and we'll do a little bit more contact than what we've been in the past.
Yeah, can you remember a year in your football career as a coach in which we had so many guys go down?
I can't recall a year, Charles, but I tell you, you know, this past year it was one of the worst I've been around in my coaching career. I've never been around a bunch of injuries like we had in the past. So you know, this is my first time ever seeing a lot of injuries like that.
We are with Braves head football coach Fred McNair. We have a tweet from Alexis Smith that's just come across the Twitter feed. Coach, will the offense try to stretch the field more this year? Will we try to get some transfer offensive linemen in the summer for more depth?
Oh yeah, most definitely. You know, first the offense stretching the field, we will, and it's just a matter of time. You know, we didn't want to put too much out, you know, during the spring, and so we've been working on some stuff during the practice to go vertical down the field, in which we can. We got some guys out there that can stretch the field now, so that's going to be big for us, you know, and just get open and let the noise just give it to them, you know. So it's going to be big for us, and all that, Charles. So we're excited about it, and yes, we do anticipate getting some more transfer linemen in because we really need them. So we're out now, you know, recruiting a little bit now. So we're out searching for those guys, and hopefully we'll get a diamond in the rough somewhere.
Yeah, talk about those guys up front, Coach, as we kind of look at the depth chart a little bit. Talk about some of the guys that you do have up front that you expect to make a big impact.
Well, you always start off with the offensive line, and that's the biggest part of our team, you know, right there on the offensive side of the ball. Tim Gardner, Dante Brooks, you know, he's out for a minute. Kenyon Bratton's coming back. William Gardner can play a big role. Kevin Hall, he'll be back in the fall. So some of those guys we're kind of missing. Chris McRae, you're looking for him to do better this year. He did a great job during the spring, and we're looking for him to be more active in the offensive line role. We got a redshirt freshman center, Abraham Mustafa, and he's coming along very well. Coach Stanchek has done a great job with these guys, putting them in place to be able to sustain blocks and pass protect.
We're with Braves Head football coach Fred McNair. 24 minutes after the hour. Give us a call, 601-877-6595, 601-877-6595. Another tweet's come in. How many players are expected to be on the roster in the fall?
Well, right now we're anticipating to get that 95-man roster in the fall. You know, with all the signees and all the scholarship guys and some walk-ons coming in. So we'll have close to that number where that cutoff number is 95. So it's about as many we can have in the fall. Yeah, so we're gonna try to get close to it if we can.
Yeah, that's is there a maximum number?
Yeah, that's it.
95.
FCS, yes.
95 is the maximum roster limit. Okay, that's one thing I didn't realize. Okay. As we look at the running back situation, and of course, we saw DeLance Turner, but there are a couple of other guys that stepped up that we saw some action on Saturday. Talk about that.
You got Butler and DJ Lane. You know, those two guys are young guys. Butler played a little bit in the Valley game. He's a kind of a bigger back, more power back. He played it pretty good, and he's gonna be good for us. We just keep working hard and keep doing what we're doing, and DJ Lane gonna be pretty good. Plus we'll have Dean coming back and all that kind of stuff. So the backfield gonna be pretty solid. I think we'll be pretty much touched up on the backfield with these guys coming back.
And then the receivers, a ton of receivers. Pickett White making that transformation. Of course, he played a little quarterback for us last year. You have Javon Johnson, Jalen Walker, and Orlando Beals, or Darius Anderson, and Martin. Talk about Martin.
I tell you what, Charles, those guys, Martin made a catch in the game, early in the game. I thought he was going to score, but somehow he got tripped up with his own feet. So, he's a walk-on kid, and he's been doing pretty good. I think Coach Chandler has done a great job with those walk-on guys, getting them to where they need to be to compete. And right now, they kind of overshadowed with this receiving course that we got. You talk about Bills and Charles Hughes, TJ, Pickett White, and those guys, Jalen Walker, and all those guys. It's kind of overshadowed Radarius Anderson. With all those guys in, and then you kind of look at these walk-on guys, but they have really made a big step forward, Charles, and being able to come out and compete during the spring, and got a chance to see some action. And like I said, he made a catch during the spring game, so those guys have been doing very well.
When you talk about the spring game, you mentioned it earlier, the balance between not getting guys hurt. You want to show what you got, but where does it come in where you mentioned it, you don't want to show too much?
Right. Basic stuff, Charge, of what we run, defense-wise and offensive-wise. We don't want to just, who knows who's in the stands. You know what I'm saying? So we try to keep it
vanilla.
And so we can just get some good guys, good plays in, and execute. That's what we're looking for, execution, Charles. Assignments and alignments, execute on offense. So we did that, and I thought we did a great job of just keeping it kind of simple.
Yeah, as they say, keep it vanilla.
That's right.
I didn't realize, the chess match that even goes on with spring games. I mean, you see the Alabama game, it's 100,000 people there, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, whatever. I mean, it's a bunch of folks there, but then every coach doesn't want to give away too many secrets at this point.
That's all the time, man. Charlie, I mean, you can look at that. Then if you go to the coaching clinics, it's the same way. They're not gonna give away everything. You have these coaches and they get up there and try to show stuff, but they keep it simple.
Yeah.
They keep it basic. So they're not gonna show everything, and that's just the way they do it in the spring game. And basically, like I said, spring game is sometimes is kind of overrated because those are the guys that you played with the year before. And, you know, just only been like 2 months before you get into the spring. So those are the guys already. The only thing you're really working on now is basic fundamental stuff and seeing where guys at compared to where they was in the last year.
The other thing I like is the drills that you all run in practice prior to the actual scrimmage, just to give fans an opportunity to see how you all prepared, the different drills, the 7-on-7s, things like that. I thought that was good as well.
That's the opportunity to see how we work during practice, because as we tell our players, you know, you got to be able to take that from individual drills to pass scale, from pass scale to team. You know, everything that we do in individual drills, you're going to do it just about in scaling or in team every day. So, you know, just being able to carry over the things that we teach them in individual drills, and now people get a chance to see what we do in our individual drills that carry on during the course of the scaling and teamwork.
And I thought that the team really was bouncing around pretty lively from station to station.
And like I said, those guys are very excited, Charles, and they know after last year what happened. They were very excited to get spring started, and they were very excited about the spring game. And that's the kind of attitude these guys got, man. And, you know, they one big family. They love each other, and they treat each other so nice, man. So, you know, we just gotta keep getting them to understand that, you know, in that format, to where they know how this team operates.
Halfway through the Fred McNair radio show. This is the last show for a while. We'll probably talk with Coach again in June. And then Media Day, I got the date, July the 15th. That's a Friday. It's about a week earlier than normal. Normally it's like the third week in July. SWAC Football Media Day is July the 15th, about a week earlier. So we'll talk with Coach pre-football Media Day and post-football Media Day. So we'll talk all about that as well. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll look at the defensive side of things here on the Fred McNair radio show. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A covenant that split the skies over Berlin. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A promise was made. A solemn oath that liberated Seoul. A sacred trust that defended Quezon. A pact that dug in Da Nang. A contract that weathered Tet. A promise was made. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. A bond that patrolled door to door in Fallujah. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. A promise we all must keep. DAV fights for all veterans and their families so they get the health care, financial benefits, and support they earned. If you're a veteran who needs help, or you'd like to help us keep the promise, visit DAV.org.
All right, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. It's the bottom of the hour on the Fred McNair radio show.
You are tuned in to WPRL 91.7 FM, broadcasting from the campus of Alcorn State University.
Our producer, Jamario Brooks, over in Studio A. Larry Sanders with the video here in studio. Charles Edmond, Braves head football coach Fred McNair. Glad you can join us here on this Monday night. So, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the defense and what you saw out there defensively in the scrimmage.
Well, I guess the biggest thing is, Charles, I think the guys was moving around and flying around, and that's something that Coach Thomas and I talked about early in the year. You know, make sure our guys are flying around, playing fast to the football. And I think they did a pretty good job at that on defense on Saturday towards the spring game. You know, and like we said, you know, on that side of the ball, we got some guys missing too. So I think that once we get it all put together and everything, I think we'll be a pretty stingy defense.
So let's look at it up front, coaches. We do have some of the depth chart in front of us. So talk about some of the guys up front: Thomas, Higgins, Bonds, Henderson, and Ware.
You know, those guys gonna be pretty solid. You talk about Michael Brooks and you talk about Marshawn Smith and Monte Bell and all those guys up front, Charles, and those guys gonna be pretty solid for us. The biggest thing we got now coming back, we'll have more depth this time, you know. And you talk about, you know, people were saying about why we playing so much 3 down, because a lot of time when you play 3 down, you kind of give the other guy a break so he can come in and play, because we didn't have depth last year. Now, you know, we got these guys up front now. We got a lot more depth than we had last year up front on the defensive side of the ball. Up front, at the linebacker spot. You got some guys that are going to be competing for positions. You got Travell Worley, the young guy that's going to come along pretty good. I think Coach Thornton is doing a great job with that linebacker core and putting them in place to where they're going to be able to make some plays. You got Salah Muhammad, guy from last year that's going to be able to help us. Trey Farrell, a guy that's going to come in, young guy. And Coach Thornton is doing a great job with those guys, getting them in place. And then on the back end, that's where I think this year we have developed a little bit more experience on the back end, Charles. Javier Marshall, his first year last year as a freshman at corner. You got Bruce Allen, then you got Simeon Kimball. Those young guys, Charles, that played a little bit last year, now got experience this year. LaShawn Ely, Dan Franklin, O.J. O'Neal.
Yeah.
Those guys there, Charles, it kind of like you see that list of guys on the defense side of the ball and say, wow, these guys all played last year as freshmen or as redshirt sophomores, and now you got that depth now, Charles, and now you got some maturity back there in the back end.
Yeah, I guess it's a blessing and a curse, the fact that guys go down. But when guys go down, other players step up and other players get opportunity, and that's how you grow and develop.
And that's exactly right. Those guys, and that's what happened last year, Charles. Some of the guys went down, and these guys had to play. And so, unfortunately, the situation where we're in the hunt for the East Division title, but those guys had to play. They had to grow up real fast, and I think coaching them did a great job with those guys of getting them to grow and understand everything that we were trying to get them to do.
And Coach Thomas, you said the first decision you made when you were named head coach was to make Cedric Thomas your defensive coordinator. It was a no-brainer in your mind. The job that he did this past season, having to coach the entire defense, and as he talked about last week, now he has some help, a secondary coach to help him on that back end.
And that was really big for us to get another coach in to move up in that place to take a little of that pressure off him to where he can just concentrate on that one thing. So I think that was tremendous move there to be able to get a coach in to help him out a little bit back there. But he's a highly energetic guy, and he have those guys flying around, and those guys know that when it's time to play, they really have to step up in his eyes.
We'll get Coach Thomas's thoughts on the scrimmage in a moment, but a tweet came in last week talking about the 2s and 3s on the depth chart at the corner position. So the question is, how do the 2s and 3s on the depth chart look at that corner position considering the injuries we had?
Well, and that's the biggest thing. I think they look good during this spring, Charles. And I think that they develop a lot and got a little bit more skill back there in that position. And that's one thing that you get out there, you get put on an island by yourself sometime, and then you have to realize, say, oh man, I'm out here by myself, so I really have to step up. And I think too, with the veteran receivers that we have, Charles, made those guys a whole lot better as well.
Braves head football coach Fred McNair. Of course, Cedric Thomas, the Braves defensive coordinator, he talked a little bit about the scrimmage this past Saturday.
And all those guys will improve and get better. And Quincy really showed some savage. Got a transfer. Isaiah Thomas really helped us with depth. So I'm really excited not only about the secondary, but as a whole. Well, it was good. Of course, probably about 7 or 8. Starting lineup on that. But to see all those guys come back, both of them are going to be there this spring. We have to really reach a whole lot of concepts. Those guys were really fundamentally sound and technically sound. So we're excited going into the summer. We'll put a great product out here. Yeah, for the most part, it was secondary. We were just
All right, that's our own Cedric Tillman talking with Coach Thomas after the scrimmage. The echo that you hear, the interviews that we were doing were also seen on the video board, so you have that little bit of a delay of about a half a second. So that's the echo that you hear in the background. You were hearing it as well as hearing it on the video board, so that's the delay that you hear. So all in all, Coach, I mean, the defensive side, once you get everybody back, everybody knows the expectation from Coach Thomas and vice versa. The defense should be ready to roll once we get into Miles College in week 1.
That's exactly right, Charles. Like I said, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about to seeing the last of July. See how these guys really come in and work their butt off in the weight room and conditioning wise. And I'm just excited to seeing that part of the month where when we get ready to report to camp in August, how far these guys have come to that point. I think he's going to be pretty good, and just getting those guys back going to mean a whole lot to this ball team.
Let's talk about special teams a little bit. We saw Corey McCullough do the kicking, and you talked about the field goal at the end. So just talk about the special teams unit once again. Of course, Corey kicking, punting, and punt and kickoff return.
Yeah, and I mean, we got some guys we'll put back there charged. We got Travaris Johnson, we'll put him back there and return kicks as well. Those guys like that, the speedy type guys that we need. We got Brady Smith, he's a return guy. Those guys like that, I think will do a pretty good job. And we got LaShawn Ely, filling punt returns and all that kind of stuff. Jalen Walker, he'll be punt return guy as well. So I think we're gonna be pretty good on special teams, and hopefully, we in the beginning of the summer we'll get another kick in pretty soon, Charles. So we have the special teams down to T, and we just got to just work on operation time as well.
We'll take a time out here. We'll hear from Braves offensive coordinator Fred Keiss, and we'll get to some other tweets. We'll talk about the FCS attendance, and we'll look ahead to what we can expect coming up during this off-season period. Is this a downtime or is this a busy time? We'll talk about it with head coach Fred McNair. Give us a call, 601-877-6595. You can shoot us an email, football@alcorn.edu, and you can send us a tweet, Tall Man Radio. I'm on Twitter. Tall Man Radio is my handle. We got a tweet from Big Homie. We'll get to that coming up after this 1 minute timeout. We'll be right back.
WPRL 91.7 FM is always trying to stay one step ahead of the curve. We've done it again with a new and improved website, WPRL.org. It's got all the latest national and local news, as well as your favorite WPRL shows and personalities. From these Worthy to Be Praised gospel program with Jay Miles to Jazzy Jazz, R&B with Jamario Brooks, student shows, and of course, all of your Alcorn State University sports broadcasts. You can listen to WPRL.org from your cell phone or tablet, Android or Apple. Just go to TuneIn Radio and type in Life 91.7 WPRL in the search box. Anytime, anywhere, any source, desktop, laptop, cell phone or tablet, WPRL has you covered. For more information, call 601-877-6290. All of this from 91.7 WPRL and on WPRL.org.
All right, it's 42 minutes after 6 o'clock. Of course, you talked about the offense, Coach McNair, and following the scrimmage, our Cedric Tillman talked with Braves offensive coordinator Fred Keiss about how the offense looked on Saturday.
Yeah, we tried to play all the back. We had a great spring, but right now we're just trying to get nobody else hurt. It's giving us demonstration spring with all the injuries that we have. So our young guys are improving. Good time to get them some reps. Yeah, we have so many really good wideouts, and I'm excited about what they're going to do this season. They've made a lot of progress. Coach Harris does a really good job, and our deep ball threat is going to be there. Yeah, we've got a three-headed monster back there, and hopefully they'll be healthy, we're ready to roll. That's the biggest thing that scares me. We got good young backs
All right, that's Fred Keiss, absolutely. And hey, the offense, you got solid at quarterback, running back. You talked about the offensive line, ton of receivers, and of course everybody knows Fred Keiss's scheme. So offensively, we don't miss very much, do we?
No, Charles, I tell you, that's the exciting thing about it. If you look at both sides of the ball, and if we're healthy, Charles, I think this team is going to be pretty good if we're healthy. So we're just anxious to get those guys back and get those guys back in the groove of things, get them working, and getting them back into shape. So that's the biggest thing. And, they've been hurt for a while, and now we got to get them back in shape. So we got to remold those guys and get them back going.
Quite a few tweets have come in. Here's one talking about the incoming freshmen. Are there any incoming freshmen that you feel that will make an immediate impact?
Yeah, we actually got a couple guys that probably gonna make some immediate impact. Charge. If you talk about the defensive front, we got guys that's coming in. It's gonna be great for us. You got Robert Moon. Robert Moon's gonna come in. He's gonna make an impact. Chris Monroe. He's a defensive lineman that make real good impact on the defensive front. So you got a big safety coming in. Quinterio Cole. Those guys are gonna make impacts. I think, Charles. They're gonna come in and be ready to play. The thing about this program here, Charles, everybody get excited about playing. Especially when you're coming into a program that done won various championships and all that kind of stuff, Charles. So that's on the defensive side of the ball, and if you look at it on the offensive side of the ball, we got a big offensive lineman, Columbus Willis, coming in. Franklin Smith. Those guys are pretty good, Charles. Looking at their film, at the high school film, you'll be impressed with those guys. You got Juwan Anthony coming in from Wilkinson County. You got Tim McNair, a 6'3" receiver, coming in from Prentice. So, the running back, Marquez Former. Those guys going to make impacts in this football program. And, we're not going to redshirt guys just to redshirt them. If these guys come in and make an impact and ready to play in September, Charles, they will play.
Yeah, we talked about it on Saturday when we talked to you on the field. When you talked about our third-string quarterback, Harper, how close you were to pulling his red shirt, and we were talking about it the other day. The difficult decision that you have to make there with Noah Johnson. Lenore's Footman was banged up. Do you throw in Felix Harper or not? Taking that red shirt off of him and putting him on the field. The 20% rules, 20%, you play 20% of your games, that's a season, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So you have to balance all of that out and trying to, can you hold him out, can you not? I mean, if he plays one game, let's just say he plays one game just to give Noah Johnson or Lenore's Footman some rest, that's not 20%, so you can probably get away with one game, but, again, that's that balance again.
It's a chance that you're taking, and the biggest thing is, if you look at it, Charles, if we was in a position of where he had to play, he would have played. At that time, we were playing against Mississippi Valley, and it was a blowout game. I wasn't going to take the risk of him getting in, either getting hurt. That's the biggest thing, That guy, that kid there, he's going to be a very special player. I think him and both thought that as well. So we just try to just save as much of them as we can. And now, this upcoming season is everything goes. So those guys are be pretty much ready to play now.
We're with Braves head football coach Fred McNair. We'll take a break. We'll get some other tweets in. And we'll talk about the FCS attendance. Of course, the SWAC led all FCS conferences in attendance. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about the real off season when we come back in 1 minute. All right, the time is 49 minutes after the hour. So let's catch up on some of our tweets, Coach, as we roll on here. Of course, you can tweet a question, Tall Man Radio on Twitter. Let's flip the script. This is another tweet that's come in. What do you want to see from us talking about fans in terms of supporting this football program?
And that's the biggest thing, Charlie. Like I stated earlier, the biggest thing is if it's any indication how the season's going to be, Charles, as it was Saturday, it's going to be a good season for us and just for our support. And like I tell everybody, man, this is Alcorn State University. You come out and support these young men as they play the football game with their passion. And at the same time, you have to take your head off these young men because they're trying to get an education at the same time too, Charles. And it's a lot of pressure already on these guys, and to come out and just be very supportive of them. That's the only thing I can ask. And a lot of times you get a lot of comments and stuff like that from fans, but these young men don't need to hear that. But these young men need to hear a lot of positive things that's coming from our fans. If you're going to talk about the coach, don't talk about the kids. But anyway, be very supportive of these young men to come out every day and play this sport that they love.
All right, let's talk about some SWAC news and notes, Coach. Of course, we always support our teams all throughout the conference, and the SWAC led all FCS conferences in attendance. The SWAC remained the top attended conference in the FCS. 678,355 attended SWAC football games this season. As a league, the SWAC averaged 14,132 in attendance in its 48 home football games, an increase of 1,309 per contest. So, Coach, you talk about the support throughout the league. Of course, Brave fans travel well. They support the team well, but throughout the conference, where it's at. You got the Bayou Classic, you got Alcorn Jackson State, you got the Magic City, and just a lot of great traditional games that pack these stadiums.
Oh, of course, Charles, and that's one of the things that our fans that have done a great job over the past of just being here for us at our home games, and then you get a chance to travel and you look up in the stands and you just got about as many people in the stands that you would have at a home game. So that's what you talk about when you talk about support. And as far as the SWAC goes, I get a lot of comments of people that went to other schools and the other conferences and stuff like that. And you talk about SWAC football and, oh, man, how HBCU schools are very, very good to come to. And just to see in that atmosphere of the HBCU and the SWAC school, Charles, you get a lot of comments of, man, there's no football like the SWAC.
You are right about that. Looking forward to the season opener against Miles College. Just to follow up on the attendance and the games coming up, of course, people are already looking forward to Week 1 versus Miles College and the 2017 schedule. Tweets just come in. Who on our schedule do you think has improved the most, and who will be a tougher out?
Well, I tell you what, Charles, you can't really just say that who have improved, but because you look at all the teams in the SWAC now, Charles, and everybody trying to recruit the same type kids, so when it all boils down to it, once the season starts and everybody gonna be improved. It's just a matter of us being more improved than they are. So that's what we're trying to put ourselves in position to be at this point in time to be better than our opponent over the course of the schedule. But you look at all these teams. You got the Alabama State, you got the Alabama A&M on the east side of our conference, and they always tough. A&M had us close at half, before we got really kicked in gear, So those are type games that we have to look at and say, that team's going to be pretty good next year. They wasn't far from it. And, on the west side, got Grambling still going to be there. Prairie View, Southern, those guys still going to be competitive. And that's the thing that we as the coaching staff here at Alcorn, that we have to push our guys to be in a position to be more competitive than they are.
Tell you what, the one team that scares me on our division is Alabama A&M, because they beat Bama State and they beat Jackson State. That opened the door for us a little bit at the end. And they had a big signee right before signing day. They announced a big signee that was coming in from the state of Alabama. I think they're going to be the team to watch. We just got by Bama State at home. Jackson State signed a big class. So Tony Hughes, he's going to have his team ready to go. And then Valley, I thought they found a quarterback. It's just a matter of keeping him upright. And on the western side, we know Grambling. We're going back to them. Texas Southern, they had us on the ropes. We know Willie Simmons is going to have his team ready at Prairie View. You don't know what Monty Coleman in the UAPB is going to have over there. And, of course, Southern. Southern lost to SWAC's all-time leading rusher in Tillery and Willie Quinn. But you never know. I think Dawson Odom's going to have some talent over there. So these teams in this league are getting better. It seems like one by one, the last several years, a team is getting better, and that improves the conference as a whole.
And you said the magic word, Charles. It improves the conference as a whole because, like I said, we're out recruiting too, and they're doing the same thing. So everybody's trying to get that edge, And I think that we just got to make sure that we're putting ourselves in the best position we can to get the best players that we can identify to build this program.
All right, we'll take a time out here, a final time out on the Fred McNair Radio Show. When we come back, we'll put a capper on it. We'll look ahead to the next couple of months and what we can expect during this offseason. I'm sure Coach McNair will have some speaking engagements and other visits throughout the state and throughout the region. So we'll talk all about that and put a capper on the Fred McNair Radio Show. We appreciate all the tweets that have come in. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
You're struggling with your mortgage. You think about it all the time.
What are we going to do if we lose the house?
It's time to stop thinking and start dialing. Call 1-888-995-HOPE for a free government program that offers expert one-on-one advice about your mortgage options. We've helped over 1 million homeowners, and we want to help you. Call 1-888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
At WPRL 91.7 FM.
I missed a mortgage payment, but now I'm turning things around. With Sam, I can.
Sam is Smart About Money, a free online resource from the National Endowment for Financial Education. We're an independent, nonprofit foundation dedicated to helping people just like you get sound information about money at samican.org.
Business has fallen off at work, but I'm getting prepared for whatever the future holds. With Sam, I can.
Get empowered. Reach your financial goals. Visit samican.org.
All right, it's 56 minutes after. Hey, folks, don't miss any news on your favorite Braves teams. Visit the Alcorn Athletics website, alcornsports.com, and join the Braves Facebook and Twitter pages to stay on top of all the news with Alcorn Sports. A busy, busy, busy week for everybody. Softball, baseball, of course, the purple and gold game. Coach, I understand that we had the video interviews on the field. I understand that you really love that concept of the interviews, and we'll probably be doing that for the home games as you do our interview with us. We'll have the camera on you, and you'll be able to tell everyone what happened or what didn't happen during the first half of every home game.
That was great. I had a good job with that, Marcus. I think they did a wonderful job with that video screen live stuff, Charles, and it was excellent, man. And just seeing to where we at now compared to where we was before, we done made some huge steps, Charles, and that's a fine job by Marcus and that group of guys get that stuff up the way you had it.
A team of people doing a lot of good stuff, a lot of good work by everybody involved. All right, Coach, give us a sense of what we can expect from you and your staff here. Do things slow down now, or are we just getting started here?
Actually, Charles, I just had my last slow day, and now it's time to get into recruiting, evaluation time. We go out the month of May and start our recruiting process and identify those young men that have the potential to become a Alcorn State University Brave football player. So our coaches are getting out on the road. Some have gone already recruiting. So this is a speedy process for us as well. We get out and try to see as many kids as we can in many places. So we got coaches all over the states now, just doing out some recruiting and for this whole month of this last part of April and the last part of May, we'll be out recruiting. And then June come where we have all this summer stuff coming in and just trying to keep some of the guys here that have a problem with their weight and all that kind of stuff and continue to work them out. And in July, we'll have all the kids here in July. And so that's from walk-ons to signees to everybody. So, and hopefully in July we'll get our strength conditioning program up, conditioning as well, and get those guys going and getting ready for report to camp in August.
Coach, we just got a minute left. Thought about that flag football game prior to the purple and gold game. Coach Tolbert did a great job with that, didn't he?
I tell you what, yes, he did, and I tell you, he wears a lot of hats, Charles, and he does a great job for us, for this football program, and for the staff. You know, he's bounced around 24/7. He's always on call, and I think I got him on speed dial, Charles. So anything I asked him, he do a good job of it. So
I tell you what, the first show in the fall, he asked me today, when am I going to get an interview? Let's have him on.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And we'll make that happen, Charles.
Coach, we appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Job well done, and we'll be talking with Coach Fred McNair throughout the course of the off season. We'll probably talk to him again in June, and then Football Media Day is July the 15th. I've already got that marked down on my calendar at the Marriott in Birmingham on the Grandview Parkway. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage of that, so we'll be talking with Coach McNair during that time as well. June, July, and then, of course, camp starts in August, and then bring on Miles College. That'll do it for the Fred McNair Radio Show post-spring football game. I'm Charles Edmond, our great producer, Jamario Brooks. Glad you can join us on WPRL and WPRL.org. Good night, everybody.
That's a wrap.